Welcome to the Late Show with Nick Cruz, starring Nick Cruz, hosted by Nick Cruz, presented by Nick Cruz, featuring Nick Cruz now.
Everybody, and
Nick
welcome
Cruz.
to the Late Show with Nick Cruz. I'm your host, Nick Cruz, of course, and I have a very special guest on today, Anna Cwietniewicz. How's it going, Anna?
Good. It's going great, Nick. How are you?
I am so fantastic. Thank you for joining me today. It's such a pleasure to have you on.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Perfect. So I guess we'll get right into the questions, if that's okay with you?
Yeah, sounds good.
All right. So we know you were involved with Colonial Players. So what was kind of your role in there over your time there?
Sure. So I first started out my freshman year as the lighting designer for the musical. And then from there, sophomore year, I worked my way up. I interned or I worked under the stage manager, Audra, at the time. And so she started training me. So then junior year, I took over as the stage manager. And so for the past 2 years, I've been both the stage manager and the lighting designer.
Gotcha. All right. So kind of what was it like to kind of be a part of the Colonial Players and be the stage manager, since the stage manager has so much work to do?
It's definitely intimidating. I remember sophomore year looking at Audra and just being like, I don't know how she does it, because it's a lot, not gonna lie. It's so rewarding. It's such a great experience. And it also kind of lets you try a little bit of everything. So you get to hang out with the actors at the blocking rehearsals. You get to hang out with the crew. I got to hang out, in the booth and talk to the tech crew. So I love kind of having that ability to talk to each group of people. I think that's what makes it super special for me.
That's awesome. Yeah, you get a little bit of everyone, and I think that's really awesome that you get to do that. And obviously, the amount of work you put in. Me being a part of the Colonial Players, we know how much work you put in. Queen Anna, as we always say.
Thank you.
You're such an amazing part, and I mean, we're gonna all miss you next year. We know that. But I guess kind of going from all the time you've had in Colonial Players, what would you say, if you have one of your favorite memories of Colonial Players?
Ooh, I would say probably one of my favorites was opening night of Rent, which was the first show I ever did with Colonial Players. Because it was the house was almost sold out. I know for most of the shows for Rent, the house was sold out, which was crazy in itself. But just that was my first high school show, and to be doing Rent freshman year was amazing. And just that feeling is I pressed the house lights button and the lights went down and the actors came out on stage. That's just always going to be a super special memory for me, because I that was a lot of fun. I really liked that.
Yeah, I don't blame you, being able to start the show with you pressing the house lights right there. Take it off. So was Rent your favorite show, or did you have another show that you really liked?
I would say, yeah, Rent was probably my favorite show. Just because, it's Rent, but also just it was my first show and it was my first experience with the Colonial Players, and it's always going to be one of my favorite shows outside of Colonial Players. But I love all the shows we do. I was a big fan of Theory and Legally Blonde and the plays, and they're all just so different and so much fun. And I love that each time we get to feature different talent and different people, and just I like that we have a variety of shows that showcase the strengths of the different actors and technicians and crew. I like that we have that versatility. I think that's something super special about our program.
Very well said. I think that's really true, and I think that speaks true from going from a show like Rent, where it's so real and so realistic and just such a popular show, and then going to a show to Theory, which is not a very well-known show. It's not a well-known show at all. And with the spinning stage, I know you obviously had a lot to do with that, which props to you on that.
Oh, yeah. Many Saturdays spent working on that stage.
I'm sure that probably took a while. I'm sure you guys probably were very happy when that came together.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, yeah. So would you say you have any sort of takeaways, any sort of lessons learned from the program?
Sure. So I think the biggest takeaway for me is just the value of hard work. And like, it sounds kind of corny, but what when so many people, so many talented, passionate people come together, what can be achieved? Because I think that the shows that we have put on over the last 4 years that I've been a part of them have really like been a testament to the talent at PW and just the dedication of the student body. And so I'm always super proud of the work that we put on stage, and that's probably my biggest takeaway.
Yeah, I know. I just remember before I was even at PW, I came and I went to see Ren. And I remember just going to the show and just sitting down, and I was amazed that it was a high school show. It was I just know it was one of like the best experiences and one of the best shows I've seen in recent memory. I mean, it was fantastic, and you could just see everyone was putting in so much work and so much effort, and it really is just such a great community. And now being a part of it, I'm honored that we're now able to take down and follow down your footsteps and all the other seniors' footsteps.
Thank you. And it's great to kind of see. I always have enjoyed over the last couple of years, like going from freshman to up through the grades. It's always been really awesome to kind of see who's coming up next and like who we're passing the torch to, because I always love seeing like the talent that's coming up, and it's so awesome. And like you guys are going to do great as like the next generation of Colonial players. So.
Well, we wouldn't have the legacy without you guys. So thank you for creating the legacy for us that now we have to live up to.
That'll be easy.
So do you plan on kind of pursuing stage management and to this field in the future, maybe after high school?
I'm not 100% sure, to be honest with you. Right now, I believe I'm going to be going to college and studying international relations. But I know that the school I'm going to, they do have a pretty robust and, a pretty good theater program, and they're always looking for tech. So I feel like that might be something that, similar to what I've done in high school, like that hasn't been exactly what I've studied, but just having that as something I'm interested in and passionate about, just working on that on the side, I think is something I'm definitely interested in doing in the future.
Okay, so what do you have a committed school you're going to?
Yeah, I'm going to Pomona College out in California. It's like 35 miles away from LA, which I'm super excited about.
Oh, there you go. You'll get to go to all the beaches.
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
Year long, like nice weather. So excited.
I'm sure. So were you involved in like any other clubs at PW besides Colonial players?
Too many to count. I think some of the ones I was most involved in, I helped to lead a microfinance club, which gave loans to people in developing countries to help them start small businesses. I was part of the computer science competition team. I went with Cross Cultural Solutions on a service trip to Guatemala for 2 summers. I was a member of NHS, so I kind of tried a little bit of everything.
Yeah, you definitely did. Definitely a little bit more there to count, like you said. Yeah, I think that's awesome. So this just kind of been some basic questions that we've asked all of our guests as they've been on. What have you kind of been up to during quarantine? What have you been doing to kind of keep your mind focused?
Ooh, not a whole lot. I've been walking my cats, which is super exciting. They absolutely hate it. But trying to put a cat on a leash, it goes about as well as you would imagine. So that's been my main source of entertainment. I've also like started doing those like coloring, like the adult coloring books. I love that. That I find super, I don't know what, super relaxing, I guess. But yeah, and also just like taking some time for myself, because like I mentioned, I was basically involved in everything at PW. So just to have that, like this downtime to like relax and like recoup some of my energy and before college, it has been super awesome.
It's just something you never had before.
It's crazy. It's a whole new world.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's awesome. I'm sure your cats probably hate you for putting no on a leash walking them. Oh man, that's great. That's funny. I can only imagine. How many cats do you walk, or you just walk one? Two
I try
cats.
both,
Oh,
but
boy.
yeah, they don't love it.
Yeah, I'm sure they're not a fan of you right now. So I guess just to wrap things up, if you have any sort of message that you want to give to any of your fellow seniors or to any underclassmen, if you just want to take the time and say that message, you can go ahead and have it right here.
Awesome. I guess to my fellow seniors, I'm really going to miss you guys. It kind of stinks that we didn't get to finish out the year in the way we hoped. But I'm looking forward to hopefully seeing you guys over the summer, also seeing your smiling faces on the commencement video. And to underclassmen, I hope to see you guys again soon on a non-Zoom, non-virtual platform. Best of luck to you guys next year, and everyone keep wearing your masks and social distancing. That's about it.
Yep, perfect. I couldn't agree more. Stay safe, stay healthy, everybody, definitely. Well, I think that just about wraps up all the time we've had. Thank you so much, Anna, for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Anytime you want to come back on, like I say to all my guests, I will absolutely have you on again. It's been a pleasure. So we'll take a quick commercial break, and then after we come back, we'll have Annika Eisner on. Welcome back to the Late Show with Nick Cruz. I'm on with my next guest, Annika Eisner. How's it going, Annika?
It's going good. Glad to be here.
And it's a pleasure to have you on. Thank you so much for joining me. So I guess we'll get right into the questions. So you were involved with Colonial Players, correct?
Yes.
So what was your role in Colonial Players?
I do a lot of different things for crew. So my main thing is I'm a part of shift crew, but I'm also on construction sometimes and a part of props.
So just a little bit of everything for you.
Basically.
All right, sounds good. So what has that kind of been like over the past 4 years? What has Colonial Players been like for you over the past 4 years?
It's been one of my favorite things about high school. It's just been like so much fun, and I love all of the people that I've met and doing the shows. And I love like being backstage during the shows, like as the curtain opens and watching the whole thing come together from like behind, and doing all of that is just so much fun.
I'm sure. I think that's probably awesome, and we all know that the cast knows that the show definitely wouldn't be possible without the crew. I mean, you guys are the backbone of the show.
Thank you.
It's definitely not possible without you guys. And yeah, I mean, would you say you have a favorite memory or a favorite show from Colonial Players over your years?
For my favorite show, it would be between Rent and Legally Blonde, but I think I'd go with Legally Blonde because it was just a really fun show, and there were so many shifts, and it just felt like the whole time like I was constantly running around, going from one thing to the next, which is just like always a fun thing to have.
No downtime during Legally Blonde, I suppose.
Yeah.
So would you say you have like a favorite memory in any of your shows, or?
This isn't like one specific time, but I really like how before each show, like crew has a little meeting together and we do like silly dedications, and it's just like a really fun crew tradition that I've really loved doing throughout every show.
Sounds awesome. Sounds really nice. I think everyone kind of in crew, I think at least from what I've seen on the outside, that you guys really are all really close, and it's almost kind of like a family a little bit there.
Yeah.
So would you say you have any sort of takeaway experiences from Colonial Players?
I think I've like learned a lot about working as a team, because it's really like we all have to be like working together to make everything happen, and also like doing stuff under pressure, like when something goes wrong, like in the moment, and it's like at the show and you have to figure out how to fix it right away. Like that's been a good experience.
Yeah. So whenever maybe the actors make a mistake or not taking something off, you guys got to fix our problems.
Yeah.
We couldn't be more thankful for you guys for doing it. So would you say you plan on pursuing maybe like shift crew or stage crew later after high school, or what do you plan on doing?
I'd really like to. I guess I don't know what next year's gonna be with like if we're gonna be in person at college or not. And also I might take some time to just like settle in because everything's gonna be different. But like once I sort of figure out what's going on, I'd really like to get back into it and be a part of crew for shows at school.
That's awesome. I think you've definitely been an amazing asset for us that at Colonial Players that I think you'll do great wherever else you go. So are you involved in any other clubs besides Colonial Players?
Yeah, so I'm in book club and reading Olympics. And then I've also done open minds the few times that it's been offered at school, and those have all been a lot of fun.
Nice. Nice. So you're involved in a decent bit around the school, and I think that's awesome, and I think it's great. Good job. So this has just been a question that we've asked all of our guests. Kind of, what have you been doing over quarantine to keep your mind occupied and to keep yourself kind of focused?
I've been doing a lot of reading, which I really love reading, and I hadn't had a lot of time with like being so busy before, so it's been nice to have more time to do that. And then just trying to stay in touch with my friends and Zoom and FaceTime, and we have like movie nights sometimes and stuff, and that's been fun.
That's awesome. What books and movies have you guys been reading? Well, what books have you been reading, and what movies have you guys been watching?
I just reread the entire Percy Jackson series for fun. I've read it so many times, but it's always good. And just found out they're making a Disney Plus adaptation of that, so now I'm excited. And then in terms of movies, we watched Monsters University at our last movie night, which was fun.
That's a good movie to watch. That's good. So what are your kind of future plans after high school? Maybe what are you kind of planning to do?
Going to University of Pennsylvania and majoring in bioengineering, and I want to design medical devices for people.
Oh, there you go. That's awesome. That's awesome. Congratulations. That's amazing. I think that's awesome that you kind of go into help people. I think especially during this time, we're all going to definitely need it. So great for you, and thank you.
Thanks.
So just to kind of wrap things up, if you have any sort of message you'd like to give to any of your fellow seniors or to any underclassmen, you can take that time now to send that message if you'd like.
Yeah. So this is obviously not the way we thought our senior year was going to end, but we still have like all the memories that we've had over the beginning of this year and the 3 years before that like we still have and all of that. And we're trying to stay connected in all the ways we can now, and we're going to get through this. At some point, things are going to get back to the way they were, and we're going to be okay.
All right, very well said. I appreciate it. And that just about wraps up all the time we have for today. Thank you, Annika, and thank you, Anna, from earlier before, for joining me today. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you guys on.
Thanks for having us.
And here we have our special musical guest, Caleb Willard. Take it away, Caleb.
Thank you, Nick Cruz. This is Almost at Times the Fool, a song I wrote based off a T.S. Eliot poem. Let us go then, you and I, imagine a watercolor sky and a flower-sprinkled floor. See us lying on the grass, facing heaven with our backs against the world. And I see you in every star, in every volatile orb. I dream up where we lie, and I'd like to hold your hand, if that's all right with you. I feel my hair is growing thin, Kafka's bug stuck with a pin by those disaffected eyes. But I don't see the same in you, 7,000 coffee spoons, you still greet me with a smile. I hear you in every laugh, in every bubble of the brook. I imagine flowing past, and I'd like to hold your hand, if that's all right with you. I lie atop an unmade bed with just a shadow in my head and nothing more of you. I've heard the mermaids singing sweet, but they no more will sing for me till I awaken and I drown. I feel you in everything, each finger reaching out to God, and every time I sing, and I wish I could hold your hand, and you could hold mine too. Thank you.
So that's been all the time we've had today for the Late Show with Nick Cruz. I've been your host, Nick Cruz, of course, and I will see you guys later. Have a great day and have a great night, everybody.